Welcome to another tutorial from Code Slice. Alright, so in this tutorial, I will be making a tutorial based on one of the comments. So I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but it's Anna Belsa. Yeah, so the question was, could you make a tutorial about rounded buttons that change color when pressed? Yeah, so that is what we're going to be looking at. Yeah, if you have any questions yourself, please do leave a comment and I will definitely get back to you. Yeah, so let's dive straight into it. Yes. So in the previous tutorial I made, I showed everyone the various ways on how you can make round buttons. But in this tutorial, we will just be looking at one particular example of how we can make a round button and then change the color. Alright, yes. So in this case, we will start by making a custom widget, which will be our rounded button. So let's get started with that. So we've already imported the button so that we can make our custom widget. So class round button. So this is our custom button, and it inherits from a button. Okay, so let's pass for now. Okay, all right, so let's go on. So round button. Okay, and then yeah, so just to show everyone how our code currently looks like, just run that. Okay, so as you can see, it's just a yellow background. There's nothing on it, it's just a yellow background. Alright, so now what we will do is, let me just close this. So it's just a yellow background. As you can see, it's defined here. Yeah, there's nothing there. So now we've created a custom round button. Alright, so let's go on now and put our custom round button in this class here, which is what is being displayed. Okay, let's go on. So now we're going to put our round button here. Round button. Okay, let's give it a few things, such as maybe let's give it text. Yeah, welcome. Whoops. And then what else can we give it? Let's give it a size hint so that it doesn't fill the whole screen. Okay, what else can we give it? Let's also give it a position, so we don't want it to just be in the corner. So let's put it in the middle. Center X, so we want it in the middle. And then center Y, because we want it in the middle. Okay, so let's go on and run and see what we have. Oh, almost forgot. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, oh wait, no, I think this is something else. Oh yes, I have a program. I have quite a number of things open here. Let me just close them. What else is open? Okay, yeah, so let's go on and run and see what we have. We have an error. Syntax invalid. Okay, that's quite strange. Actually, let me just check. I've never had this error before. It's quite strange. Let's just check. So pause hint. Center X. There's nothing wrong there. Yeah, there's nothing wrong here. Okay, let me try run it again. Yep, definitely weird. Definitely weird. Okay, so I don't know what's happening here. So maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. This usually works fine, but it's okay. We can just we don't have to worry about using the position for now. Yeah, but I'm quite interested. Maybe you guys can let me know. I have no idea what's happening. Yeah, but okay. So we have our button here, as you can see. All right. So we have our button. Which yeah. Okay, the size is a little bit out of place. So let's do some changes here. Let's not put it in the box layout. Let's just move it out. Yeah. Okay, it should be okay now. Yeah, it should be okay. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, we have our button. Of course, it's in the corner because pause hint is not working for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a button here, but of course, this is not the kind of button we want, but we want it to be round. Okay. So let's go on and customize our round button to make it round. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the background and make it invisible. So background, color, all right. So by putting the 0 at the end, we are making it transparent. All right, so which means it's invisible. All right, and then let's go on and now create our round button shape. Canvas before, color. Okay, let's just do this for now. Sorry about that. RGBA. Okay, and of course we're using a rounded rectangle. Rounded rectangle. And we'll give it a size, self dot size, and then a pause, self dot pause, and then a radius to make it, to give it the round edges. 20 20 20 20. Okay, let's go on and see how this looks now. Alright, as you can see, we have our button here, our round button. Alright, we have our round button. Let me try something quickly. Let me give X 50 and Y, what am I doing? Y 50. Okay. Yeah, so we just positioning it. But of course we're not using pause hint at the moment, since pause hint is giving us some problems. Yeah, so I just lifted the button a bit up. Yeah, so we have our button here. As you can see now, it's a rounded button. It's a round button, which is quite good. But of course our focus in this tutorial it's not just making the round button, but how to make it change color when you press it. All right. So in order for you, to sort of change the color of the button when you press it, we'll need to consider a number of things. So number one, when you press the button, so which means we have to use an on press event, and then also we have to define the different colors that we want when the button is pressed, basically. So which means we have to work with functions. All right, so let's go ahead and create those functions. Okay, all right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to give our button colors, different colors. All right, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to use list property to store the value of the colors. All right, so from Kivy properties import list property. All right, so this property stores a list. It stores a list. So in this case, we're going to be storing a color. All right, so maybe this will make more sense if I explain it here. So let's say we have red, right? So we have a red color, right? So what we can do is we can store that red color. We can use the list property, right, to store the values. So the red color is defined by how? So it's usually RGB. So 1 0 0 1. Okay, so as you can see, we have created a list property named red, which has this list here. All right, which is basically your red color. All right, yes, of course. Now we want this. We want to give now. We want to change the color here. You see the color here. We want to use the color that we have defined in our list. Yeah, so what we will do now, we will say, so this is red, right? So we'll say self dot red. All right, so if I run this, what will happen now is that the color which is defined here will display. So let's go ahead and test this. Oh wait, list, oh, spelling error. Let's close that. I forgot a T here. T. Okay, let's go on and run that. Okay, as you can see, the button is now red. It's simple, right? Very, very simple. Yeah, so you can define many colors in this way, and all of that. Yeah. Okay, so what do we want to do? So maybe instead of saying red now, since we want the color to change, we can just say colors. Okay, so let's say colors there as well. Okay, and of course now we will put an on press event, right? So on press. Okay, let's define this event. Change color. Okay, so what we will do now is that we're creating a function, and when we press the button, we will call this function, and this function will change the color. All right, so which means self.color will now become something else. Let's say we're changing the color from red to maybe blue. So let's change the color here. All right, and then of course we need to call the function. So root change color, like that. Okay, so let's go on and see how this works. Wait, something is quite odd here. Let me just yeah, it's here. I'm supposed to change, yeah, blue. Okay, so let's go on and run that, and it's supposed to be colors here because this is called colors. Okay, let's go on and run that. Okay, so when we press this button now, as you can see, the color changes blue. All right, so that is how you change colors. All right, a rounded button color. All right, of course, maybe you might not be happy with just changing the color once. Maybe you want the color to change back to red whenever you press it, then it changes back to blue and all of that. Yeah, that's something very simple, so we can just use like if statements and all of that. Yeah, so we can just use an if statement. So example, if, right, self dot colors, right, is, let's say if it's red, so paste the red one. If it's red, then we want you to change it to blue. Yeah, so if it's red, then we want you to change it to blue. However, if it's not red, else we would want it to change to red. All right, so so self colors, not forgetting the double, what am I doing? Yeah, it's supposed to be like this. Okay, so let's go on and run this. Okay, all right, so there we go. So we have a red button. When we press it, it becomes blue. When you press it, it becomes red. When you press it, it changes colors. Yes, and that is how you make a rounded button that can change color. Yes, and this is it from Code Slice. So please remember to subscribe. I appreciate the support, and please have an amazing day.